Hello and welcome to You've Seen It Before, movie reviews with connections in mind. This summer we've seen a number of films defy expectations about how the movie industry is supposed to work. We've seen films that make a ton of money despite getting blasted by critics, and conversely we've seen films that are praised by critics, but after opening weekend they struggle to break even or make any sort of profits. One of these films is the third installment in the rebooted franchise, but the 13th film overall, Star Trek Beyond. This film sees the crew of the USS Enterprise face off against an original villain, for a change, and have to overcome incredible odds, as well as obstacles both physical and personal, in order to defeat him. While this film has been praised for its return to the feel of the original TV series, there are many things in this that will have audiences saying, "Hey, we've seen that before." Now, this film will contain certain spoilers of Star Trek Beyond, so if you haven't seen it yet and want to wait until you have, stop the video at this point and come back later. With that in mind though, let's begin.
Here we go again?
No, not again.
How long have we been doing this?
Once more unto the and again until we're both dead.
My dad joined Starfleet because he believed in it. I joined on a dare.
You joined to see if you could live up to him.
You really want to head back out there, huh?
What the hell is this?
They're boarding us.
Abandon ship!
My God.
Our captain will come for us. Mercy will be the last thing on his mind.
I am counting on it.
Star Trek Beyond sees Kirk and crew 3 years into their 5-year mission. Each member of the crew is dealing with personal difficulties, but they are forced to push them aside when they are called to answer a distress call, which leads them to be captured by Krall, a villain who doesn't keep secret his dislike of the Federation. With most of his crew in captivity, it is up to Kirk to save his crew and stop Krall from completing his plan. Now, there are many things in this film that are sourced from other films that have come out before, so let's start with the obvious and go from there. First, this film, like many films in long-lived franchises, inserts references to the earlier installments in the franchise. There are too many to go into, but the one that's most obvious is the fact that the Enterprise gets destroyed in this film's opening minutes. This is not a new thing to the Star Trek franchise. It's happened twice before, and in fact, this destruction references both of those previous destructions. The Enterprise gets destroyed in the third film of both the original film series and this rebooted film series. And the way that this Enterprise is destroyed, with the saucer section being the only thing to survive the planet fall, is a direct reference to the way the Enterprise D is destroyed in Star Trek Generations. A character similarity crops up in the form of Jyla, an alien who was captured by Krall as a child, has her family killed by one of Krall's henchmen. She later escapes, and then later comes back to face the same henchman who killed her parents and defeats him. This will be familiar to anyone who saw X-Men First Class, as this is almost the same backstory and character arc as Magneto. There are a few familiar elements to the film's finale. When deprived of their advanced starship, Kirk and crew must refurbish the downed USS Franklin, a ship that was believed to be lost over 90 years ago. This will be familiar to anyone who remembers the mediocre adaptation of the board game Battleship, when the Navy crew, deprived of their state-of-the-art destroyer, must refurbish the museum ship USS Missouri. Both, of course, end up having their respective crews defeat the alien threat with their older ships. A further parallel with Battleship is the fact that both of these films have commanding officers who are struggling with their command abilities and their prospective futures, but by the film's end and through adversity, they both resolve these conflicts. Another familiar plot point shows up when Spock and McCoy end up commandeering an enemy ship, use it to tap into the aliens' communications network, and then use said enemy ship to transmit a signal which disrupts the alien communications and then is instrumental in the aliens' defeat. Anyone feel like this is taking a page from Independence Day? Now, as a film, Star Trek Beyond has a lot going for it, and a couple of things against it. It has great action, which is what you would expect from director Justin Lin, better known for the Fast and Furious films, as well as some great moments of character growth and camaraderie which, even if this is your first foray into the Star Trek universe, you can appreciate.
Well, at least I won't die alone. Well, that's just typical.
There are definitely some campy moments, as well as some somewhat questionable pacing decisions, but on the whole, Star Trek Beyond is definitely a film to see at least once, and if you're a fan of Star Trek, feel free to add this to your collection. Just remember, though, that there's nothing new under the sun, and yes, you have seen it before. Until next time, thanks for watching.